Brazil get over the line, maybe what their performance deserved. What do you make of it?
So let's just focus on good Brazil right now. There'll be some bad Brazil that we'll talk about, but good Brazil in regards to the reaction and going down to Japan 1-0. I thought the second half of Brazil showed some signs of what this team can be potentially in the attack. We saw from Vini Jr. get as close as anybody can get to scoring what would have been the goal of the tournament in the 58th minute, where he puts it between the legs of the defender, gets it after another defender, cut to the inside, cut to the outside. He thinks he scored, but Suzuki made a big save, which he did quite often in the second half. I thought Japan in the second half, they got fortunate time and time again with ball bounce here, ball bounce there, bounce in, bounce out. Brazil deserved to go through simply based on the endeavor and the commitment that they showed going forward and the character that they show after going down. There are a lot of things about Brazil that are still vulnerable, but in terms of what we saw today, fight, they brought that certainly in the second half, and that I think was enough for them. The quality take over, and when the quality took over, Martinelli provides the goal. They go on and advance. Japan, gone.
Impactful match, but he kept going and he wins the ball back just at the right
That's a great sign when you want your attackers, if they're not having a great day in terms of a possession, make sure you hunt people down and win the ball back, which they did, and particularly so late in the game, that desire to try and win a game of football when you're thinking we'll settle for a draw. And again, we're looking at Martinelli, of course, just
and it's
hanging around
Tanaka who gives it away.
Yeah, of course, but that's the pressure to render. But it's the final pass. Yeah, we criticise the fullback for maybe gambling, but the composure with the pass where you're thinking, he's obviously going to have a shot here. And it's so late in the game, that composure, that intelligence.
You agree, Stevie?
Yeah, they took the time, though. You know, they started the game pretty well, obviously, but they kind of just lost their way in the first half. And so by half-time, you're scratching your head thinking, how is this team going to come back into this and create more chances and score goals? But right from the first whistle, they just absolutely drove the Japanese back into their own box. And in the end, that's the downfall. You know, plenty of crosses in there. And for me, that's the reason why Martinelli at the end gets so much time and space in the box, because the Japanese were so deep. So, yeah, they absolutely deserved to win the game. Martinelli coming on, and I think the fact that Martinelli comes on and ends up being the winner and not Neymar
It spoke volumes, didn't it?
It also tells you something.
How dare you?
It also kind of makes.
I mean, you're going there already.
Absolutely. I think it makes a statement that when you need a goal and Brazil are not asking Neymar to come on and be the guy who's going to get it or create it, I think that tells you where Neymar is. And I think it also tells you that this Brazil side, in order to win games, doesn't need Neymar because they can do what Martinelli did.
Yeah, it was quite really compact. You had around 19 players just around the box. But what is quite really interesting on that side is Brazil in the possession. They lost the ball, but they stayed there and tried to win it straight away. So the fact that they win the ball straight away didn't give Japan the time to reorganize themselves. And then in a really tight space, they make the right decision. There was a quality of the pass, and it was a really good finish.
And it takes some experience in order to be patient, to allow the game to develop. And you could sense the momentum was shifting and it was going in the direction of Brazil. But it's hard to be patient when you think Matheus Cunha has scored, but he hits it off the face of the Japanese defender, off the goalkeeper, off another defender, and then out. And you're thinking, well, maybe things are just not going to happen today. When you start seeing things like that out on the field, it's difficult to believe that today is your day. And so it takes that patience that I'm talking about. It takes that experience that I'm talking about when it comes to Carlo Ancelotti and understanding momentum is with us. It's wave of attack after wave of attack. Eventually, we're going to break through. And if we score one, we're going to score a second one. That comes from years and years and years of standing there in the sidelines and seeing things like this happen time and time again. And let's not forget, as a club manager with Real Madrid, not too long ago, these are the things that Real Madrid were doing. Still, again, there are vulnerabilities to Brazil. Let's not get carried away. But today, in the second half, there were signs of what this team can be.
Fabinho doesn't give you much more athleticism than Casemiro.
No, he doesn't. And that's why he will stick with Casemiro, because Casemiro can do what he did in this game. He can step up.
If Casemiro's okay, because he came off injured.
Well, yeah, but assuming he's okay, then he won't change it. And listen, the definition for me of a defensive midfielder is somebody, when you cough the ball up, becomes the first defender. And if you can't get around and you can't close people down and you can't chase people, then You're in the wrong spot. So if you're asking a guy to do a job and he can't do it properly, if you want to win the World Cup, it's not going to happen.
Paquetá off. Seemed to be a slight injury there as well. Endrick seemed to change the momentum of the game. That switch meant something for Brazil, didn't it?
And I know there are people related to this production, very closely related to the production, that really love Lucas Paquetá. This may very well be the best thing that has happened to Brazil.
Wow.
That Lucas Paquetá is not on the field. I have no idea why Carlo Ancelotti continues to go into Paquetá and say, that's our guy. I don't see it. I don't see it, and I have said that for a long time now. And again, today was the latest example of that. And so him coming injured, and you don't want to see a player get injured, but it's the best thing that could have happened to Brazil.
What would you do? What change, if you're Carlo Ancelotti, what change are you making?
Well, I have to first define what is it that I want to do with Mateus Cunha. Mm-hmm. Because if Mateus Cunha, when he starts playing as a center forward, he's more of an actually underneath midfielder because he drops into those positions and he's not really a presence inside the 18-yard box, then you might as well start him there. And then have Hendrick play up top. Or you play those guys together and Vini Jr., you just have him out on the left-hand side because you're asking Vini Jr. to be more of a central player when Mateus Cunha drops underneath. Well, if Mateus Cunha is going to drop underneath and Vini is not going to go in the middle, he stays out left, then who is attacking down the middle? So you need numbers there. I just don't think that Paquetá gives you enough for this to become the solution to the problem. I think what's happening is that Ancelotti recognizes that he doesn't have enough with Casemiro and Bruno Guimaraes, and so he's hoping that Paquetá can provide some help defensively, but you're sacrificing a lot of what you do offensively.
We've seen it so many times over the years where teams have a lot of numbers back, but sometimes you have too many numbers. Everyone else thinks somebody else is going to do the job, and they end up with 3 or 4 spare players instead of just actually getting tight in somebody, go man to man, because there's plenty of bodies there, but everyone is thinking somebody else is going to do that job.
Why did we not see Neymar? Coach, why?
Well, the only reason when you have a player that has so much ability and you don't put him on is because you don't think he's capable at this particular time of doing what he's previously done or he's able to do. And so that I just think physically, and we saw when he came on in the last game for a little cameo at the end, I think that was Ancelotti playing the political card. You know, keeping him happy, keeping the squad happy. This guy's a legend in this squad. And so I think that's what that was. And the fact that he didn't come on today when you need a goal tells you that Ancelotti doesn't trust him. And that's the bottom line. He doesn't trust him.
I tell you what's happening that is not helping Ancelotti. It's the directors, the TV directors. They see that the game is getting away from Brazil, that they need something in the attack. And who do they go to? It's Neymar.
There's a shot.
Right? Look, asking Neymar to be the difference maker right now for Brazil would be an act of desperation. It would be. He hasn't shown you anything that would suggest he would be a better option than Gabriel Martinelli or Hendrick or any of these other players that have life in their legs. They have explosion in their legs. Neymar doesn't have that right now. He doesn't, and he's barely recovering from yet another calf injury. So I don't care how many times the director cuts to Neymar.
I won't recommend playing for it, but it's the greatest way to win a game, isn't it? They deserved him, and they had so much. They had 69% of the ball, and they were really playing well. Japan was defending well, and it's difficult. It's always difficult to break that kind of thing. But again, they find that little space. You called Bruno Guimaraes, he would find that pass. You called that before the game, and he did find that pass. And it only takes 1 minute or 1 moment of a game, tired minds, tired legs out there, to do that. And it's a brilliant thing to win it like that. I said before the game, the 2 games I've been at with Brazil this tournament, it's always looked like they had another gear. And today they have to go into that other gear. I thought they did that today. And to win like that, it's going to give you so much confidence.
There's Casemiro limped off and Paquetá limped off. That's 2 of his midfield 3.
Yeah, and, you know, losing 2 central midfielders like that is not going to be easy for them. We just have to wait to see how bad it is. But we saw players coming on in the second half, and they have the experience. But losing 2 players, you never know how long and it will take for them to recover.
Yeah, but obviously we'll find out in the next few days how serious it is. Obviously these players are getting a bit older, maybe sometimes just a bit of cramp or tightness, so hopefully from their point of view it's not too serious.
I think one thing that we can take away from it is obviously the big calls that Carlo Ancelotti made today. We were all saying, yeah, what do we know, Rob? We know nothing about football. Carlo Ancelotti, we called for Casemiro to be taken off, but he's like, nope, I'm going to leave him on the pitch. What did he do? He came up with the equalizer. And of course, bringing in Martinelli as well. Those big calls, that's why you hire a manager like Carlo Ancelotti, a manager who's been there, done it, knows how to win titles. And we've said it before the game, is he going to be the guy that will bring this Brazilian side back to the glory days? You can see here again, this goal here, this first goal here. Absolute brilliant goal. We know Casemiro couldn't touch him because he was on a yellow card. And what's this man doing here? Gabriel with the perfect cross and the perfect header from Casemiro.